Mrs. Rachel Simon Kagu to take the second session in the conflict management certificate training of the Youth Civic Engagement Program. Mrs. Rachel Simon Kagu, formerly called Rachel Dibal, is a social worker who is married with 3 children. She possesses certificates in various online courses and short physical trainings. She's the president of Leadtots Development Initiative and a lecturer of sociology at the Department of Sociology, Gombe State University, Gombe. And academic and practical areas of interest are child welfare and families, community development, conflict and peace building, and gerontology. Rachel is a member of the International Federation of Social Workers and a regular member of the International Sociological Association. She's a fellow and trainer of the Generation Change Program of the United States Institute of Peace, USIP, the beneficiary of scholarships from the Nigerian Women Association of Georgia, USA, and of the Female Support Initiative, a partnership project by the UniJust Carnegie, New York. She is part of boards of development organizations, notably Relief Initiative for Humanitarian Aid, RIHA, focusing on women and girls. The Mandate Health Empowerment Initiative, working to improve mental health in Nigeria, and Leadtots Development Initiative, focusing on leadership and youth development. Most of her spare time in the evenings or weekends is taken up by interactions with family and close friends, or doing activities that she finds enjoyable, such as traveling and mentoring, rock climbing, writing, listening to music, reading, riding bicycle, and utilizing social media. Rachel has traveled far and wide and does everything to give children and youth, particularly those of Nigerian descent, a sense of purpose and hope, and to create opportunities that give good prospects to decent potentials. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome my president in Youth Talks Development Initiative, who is the chief host of the Youth Civic Engagement Program, Mrs. Rachel Dibal Simon Kalu. Welcome, ma'am.
When did you become an MC? It looks like you do a lot of projection. So thank you for that. I will not take too much time. I would quickly go into action so that I'll maximize time. I don't know, can you see my screen?
Can you go in slideshow?
Yes, so let's do it, share from beginning.
From beginning.
Okay, no, I just, what do you see, Sheon?
Okay, we're seeing introduction to conflict analysis.
Iceberg. Yeah.
You see 2 things?
An iceberg.
Okay, no, we're seeing an
iceberg, right? Yes, exactly. That's what I want to project.
Okay. So you can just go on the from current slideshow. You see something like from current slide?
Okay.
Yes. Yep. You can click on it.
All right, thank you for that. So I hope I get to see responses easily. I'll try and not get totally distracted by what I'm saying. So Benga has done a very interesting part of this conversation on conflict management. He has given you power to yourselves individually. You now know, or you now understand how you as a person has the tendencies that you have when it comes to managing conflicts or resolving conflict situations. I want you to just have this information at the back of your mind as you listen to us all through the conflict sessions. The fact that there is something about the iceberg. It's not a very common culture around here, but then on the sea, wherever the captain of a ship sees this thing on top. Okay, how do I point? Okay, let me see. Remote control, right? Sheon? Okay. Okay, can you can see this, I guess?
Yes.
Okay, so my icon, that's what I mean.
As your mouse, yeah, we can see your mouse moving.
Okay, beautiful, thank you. So whenever the captain of the ship sees this, this is what is called the tip of the iceberg. It is showing here, then there is all around it water. Look at the level of the water here. This is what he sees from a distance, and every other person who views from on top of the water, this is what they see. But the captain knows more than anybody else because of the stories in the past and other experiences of people. I think that's what happened during the what's the name of that movie? Very popular love movie that
Titanic.
caused Titanic, that caused the ship to capsize. If the captain sees this, he knows that the turn he's going to make is not going to be from here. It is not going to be from here. Neither is it going to be from here. He has to start from somewhere far away, because this is only the pointer that there is something huge underneath. So also in conflict, when you see, okay, let me give you a very live example. In 1994, there was a crisis in Ghana. Let me leave Nigeria first for the meantime. There was a crisis in Ghana. This crisis started in a market. You know how it started? It started with a conflict over chicken. That chicken conflict caused the killing of people, burning of houses and other properties. But we know that it wasn't only the chicken. Chicken was the tip of the iceberg. So the larger part or the remote issue was different. During the resolving of such conflict or managing such conflict, the mediators or facilitators would have to find the best way to dig out that remote issue that is causing the larger problem. Now, we go to what I'm going to do mainly today. So I just want you to have that information at the back of your mind as we talk about conflict. There is always a larger issue. So I have been introduced. Okay. So can we see the new one now?
Yes.
Yes, we can see it.
Thank you. So like Benga has highlighted during his session, we're going to focus on dealing with difficult conversation. This would also have a build-up after my session. Benga is going to talk about communications in conflict, and that is also a very, very important part of it. I am very sure he's going to highlight the issues of what do you call it? What do you call it? Benga.
Hello, what's that? Active listening
Okay.
or?
Active listening, thank you. So he will highlight the aspect of active listening, and that is very key when it comes to conflict, managing conflict. We have to focus on that as leaders, because we will be doing a lot of that. What to note about conflict? We must understand that you as leader, me as leader, we deal with conflict situations every day, at least once in a day, whether internal, that's intra, or interpersonal, between me and the group, between me and an individual. You know, as a leader, you are confronted with this daily. And that is why it is very important we understand how to manage it. Now, they can be healthy and generative. I keep saying every day that there is no way we can run from conflict. What is very important for us is to focus on the positive side, or the generative or the healthy side of conflict. If you are going to interact with people, you cannot live without conflict. You must be confronted with this. But your attitude to conflict is what makes it positive or negative. Conflicts, they will definitely come. Your attitude is what changes the entire game, making it positive or negative. Now, if you have a positive attitude, of course, you expect that the outcome will be positive. We should always remember that conflicts come to build us and not to tear us apart. The more we encounter conflict over time, the better we get to understand ourselves, and the even better we are able to live with ourselves and even achieve our goal. Now, an important thing we must know is that we must have difficult conversations. You will understand what I mean very soon. Difficult conversations are here to stay. Like they say, COVID is here to stay, right? Difficult conversations are here to stay. And it is very important we tell ourselves, brace up and be ready to have these conversations, no matter how embarrassing, how dangerous they appear. And even it doesn't matter how much you fear them, just face it. Because if you don't fight it today, you will live to fight another day. So why not just fight it today and get done with it? We must, as I said earlier, approach them productively. Have a positive attitude. Think about the good that can come out of this conflict. Don't think about the situation or the individual involved. That is not as material as the outcome of this conflict. Method of dealing with difficult conversations. You must decide if the conversation is worth having. Take a look at the situation. Is it worth having? What makes it worth having? Is it something we should talk about, or something I can just accommodate and let it go? You know? Then you must complete a risk and reward chart for having the conversation. I'm going to show you the chart right after this. In making this decision, you must deeply analyze and make clear for yourself what the risks are, the risks that are involved in having this conversation, what is at stake. And then side by side, what will I gain at the end of this conversation, or at the end of having this conversation? What would the positive outcome be? And then thirdly, you must assess the risks and reward if you do not engage in the conversation. So you must also check, if I choose to just accommodate and let it go and not have this conversation, what are the risks? What is at stake, and what are the rewards? What are the benefits for me and even the partner involved, or the person involved, or the group involved? Now, this is the chart, the risks and rewards chart. You must remember to differentiate between real danger and fear, because sometimes it is out of fear we feel something is going to be very dangerous. You must be able to demarcate what is danger here. Danger has to do with life and death, right? It has to do with the body, you know? But then fear is just a feeling that might turn out not even be real. Now, there are sometimes I sit down and then maybe because I care about my children, then I begin to imagine, What if, I know for my second child, there was when he was in reception class before he entered nursery, I was just at home, and then I was like, what if there is a minor accident and then Amram is involved? What am I going to do? Do you know, by the time he returned that day, he had an injury on his finger. In trying to take them to the restroom, I think he slid his hand at the door, and then the teacher didn't know, so she locked the finger, and the nail was affected. So it was, I know it sprang from fear that I don't really want anything. I don't want to hear any negative story. I don't want to go and see that my child is not in good condition. That at the end of the day, when the teacher told me his finger was injured, I was like, pooh. I just kept quiet. I tried to be calm, though, to understand what exactly happened. When I came home, it wasn't something I found funny at all. So out of fear, we might choose not to engage in a conversation that is difficult. But then fear is not our friend. We must differentiate between danger and then fear. Then calculate the risks for you as an individual. If I'm having this conversation, what is at stake for me? What do I risk here? We're going to do a typical example so that it helps us understand this entire technique. Then the next thing you must do, what are the risks for me? What are the rewards for me? If I engage in it, okay, this teacher might just think that I am too focused on my child, and I don't care whatever it is she's up to. And then on the other hand, it will help me, the reward is that it will help me understand what exactly happened to Amram. And then I will get to know whether the teacher is actually dangerous. She's the one who did not really care for him well enough to avoid that accident. And then I'll be able to relate with her even better, probably even give her some suggestions about how to handle Amram, Then the next step is for your relationship, this you and then the group or the person involved in this conflict. What are the risks if you have this difficult conversation? And then if you choose not to have, what are the possible rewards? The risk in terms of your friendship, in terms of probably something you're gaining, something that has been positive in that relationship. And then rewards, is it going to strengthen it? Is it going to destroy it? Is it going to give me back my friend or take away my friend from me? Then another level is you check the risks and rewards for your organization or the group you're involved with. If I choose to have this conversation, what are the risks for my group, for my organization? What are the rewards for my organization, the positive outcome? Check, we didn't say what is going to be negative or what is going to be positive. We said the risks, because you don't know yet how the outcome is going to look like. That is why we must eliminate fear. So look at it as you're risking something and you don't necessarily know the outcome. But if you decide to engage in the difficult conversation, there are possible rewards, and those ones can be identified. They can be clearer, but then even clearer at the end of it all. Now, how to engage? if you choose to engage in the difficult conversation, there are two options for you. You must engage. That's the first option. You must engage in an authentic dialogue. What do I mean? You must listen actively with your body, your spirit, and your soul, everything. Just focus on the person. Have a neutral mindset as much as possible. We're human beings and we tend to have, our own form of sentiments. But then it's important you disabuse your mind from such sentiments as much as possible. Try and be objective and then engage in it in an authentic manner. You must be clear, you must be focused, focus on the issue and not the person and not any other thing. No, it is the issue that matters. Okay, I hear that somebody just came and told me that they said that I am the one who caused problem between the youth group in the student union leaders and the students in the school. My focus will not be who said that, who was it that brought this information, where did they get it, who told them. That's our tendency as human beings. We want to know who is it. We want to know his intention. Politics, right? We want to know his intention. What is his interest? But as a good manager of conflicts, as a good leader, my focus should be on, okay, so what is the problem between the student union officials and the students in the school? Okay, they were having an election and then it turned out violent. Okay, so what exactly made this issue, the elections, to turn violent? No, it's one girl that came. She just carried, they said she's in so department doing this and that. It is not her that we're focusing on now. We're focusing on why she did what she did, because that is the main issue. So fighting during elections is the tip of the iceberg. Elections, we just think it's elections. No, but then there are underlying issues that cause the fight. So we must ensure that we engage in authentic dialogue, focus on the meat, the real issues, rather than the peripheral ones that will not lead us anywhere, that might even escalate the conflict. And then again, option 2, if you choose to engage in this difficult conversation, engage in option 1, that is, engage in authentic dialogue, not debate. We might not have so much time to bring out all of these issues, myself and Benga, but then we've tried to draw what we think will be very beneficial for you as a leader in this program. So there's a difference between dialogue and debate. Debate, somebody has to win, but in a dialogue, you're trying to find the real issue and deal with the issue as it is. So as a leader, you are not interested in a debate. No. It is win-win. That's what you're interested in. Your opponent win, you win too. And that is why we're focusing on dialogue. Now, when you choose to engage in part 1, engaging in authentic dialogue, you must also remember that you would use a neutral, objective third party. The two of you doing it alone is not enough. You need somebody outside the group, somebody outside all of you that are involved in the situation, because somebody standing outside can see better than you that is inside. You that is inside only sees what you see inside. But from outside, the person from outside sees you, sees the other party, sees what is behind, on the side, in front, all around. So that's why the third party, who is supposed to be neutral, objective as much as possible, should be involved. That person will be called the mediator, the facilitator, or the witness of this conversation. Those things you can't see, the person will see. So remember, the person must be neutral. Then, on the other hand, if you choose not to have the conversation at all, you look at it and you think it's not worthy of having, this conversation is not worthy of having, there are three options for you. One, de-invest relationship. Lower your expectations and make the best of the current situation. Don't expect too much from that relationship. When I say relationship, I don't mean boy-girl relationship only. There is that one. There's also you and your group that you're leading. There's also you, your group, and the other group, you know, within that environment, different levels of relationship. So you must invest, reduce expectation, and don't give too much. Then the second thing you must also do, the second option you must also do, that's option 4 in general, would be to restructure the relationship. How do you restructure the relationship? You must minimize the need for interaction and interdependence. If you used to go to that meeting every week, and then this thing happened, you must reduce the rate at which you go, because you are not going to have the conversation. So reduce the rate at which you go, or not even, or maybe over time you stop even going completely. Just for peace, that's what we're talking about. We're focusing on how peace can reign, you know. Then the third option, which is the fifth overall option, is to make a choice to leave if the situation is bad enough and change is impossible. If you look at it, it's not something you can contain, you can't accommodate it, and you can't discuss it, the best thing you do is to leave. Leave the situation. Leave that environment as much as you can to ensure that peace is maintained. What is important is for us to ensure that there is change when there is a conflict. Change for the better and not for the worse. So if change for the better is not possible, then you have to withdraw. Make a choice to just get away from that situation or leave the place. Now, how can we engage in a difficult conversation? I'd like you to respond. This is the time I'd like to hear from all of you now. Oops. Are we there? So,
yes, sir, yes.
We can make this interactive, right? This is my board.
Okay, they are muted. But anyone that wants to speak, we'll give them opportunity to speak.
Can they? Okay, they might not be able to write.
No, they can write. They can write.
They should write on my okay, screen. Yes. If it doesn't. Doing that. Okay, is it on the chat room?
On the chat room, yes, sir. On the chat
room. Okay. I was thinking they can write on my screen. Okay, where is my chat room? Okay.
So anyone who wants to say something can raise his hands up, and then others can also put their thoughts in the chat room. Okay, I can see a hand up.
those of you that can write on the screen, you can go ahead and write on the screen.
Okay, I'm trying to get people's hands up. Okay. Yes.
Okay. Somebody, Rosemary said that I would like to know the full story. What's the problem? I like that.
Okay, Samson is up. Samson, over to you.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much, Ma, for this amazing presentation. For me, if I find myself in a difficult situation, in order for me to engage, I would like to know the root cause of the problem. And then I'll also choose the method or the method of conflict management to use in order to come up with solution to tackle that problem.
Okay. So he would like to find out. Thank you. What's your name again?
Samson Kifas from
Okay,
Gombe.
Samson. Thank you, Samson. He will find out the root cause of the problem. Okay, thank you for that input. Javan is saying, I tend to accommodate if... Okay, Javan is telling us about their tendency, their response to conflict, the way they respond. To accommodate if need be, compromise his stand if it doesn't work, he avoids it, okay? Then Suleiman Zainab said, okay, Zainab didn't say anything really concerning our question, but then let's see, Mustafa Bashir. First and foremost, I would like the root cause of the problem so that to know where to start, okay, and address the problem. Okay. Okay, Rosemary also added that she would like to hear the story from both sides before thinking of possible solution. Okay, I like that. Okay, Geoffrey Sally said, I'll ask myself if it's really a problem first, then it's worth discussing. Whether or not it's worth discussing, I hope that's what you mean. Zainab said, I will tackle. So we have plenty going on now. Okay. Okay, sympathies. Eric, I'll first ask both sides the cause, okay? Precious, Dari, I usually express myself, address the problems the way it is and tackle the root cause, okay? Joshua Madi, listen attentively to the full episode of the problem first before taking any necessary action to tackle the problem. All right, thank you for your input. As we pay attention or as we elicit to find out what the problem is, we must also, you don't have the whole day. You don't have the entire time, and everybody has a different approach when it comes to narrating an incident. Somebody would start from the history. So before you get to hear what really happened, it is at the end of the story when you have even forgotten you were trying to find out what happened. So people have different ways of presenting issues. So you must also, try to find a way you can bring the person to what you really want to hear. Yes, they were coming from and they took which path? Okay, when they took and they got there, I understand what you're saying. But when they took that path and went round and got, at the end of the day, they got themselves at the election venue, what happened there? The officials sat and they brought the boxes. Yes, after they brought the boxes, at what point did the fight begin? You try to bring the person to the situation so that you help them give you the information that you need. I do not know if Benga highlighted those, but I would like to highlight this part. That's the issue of how you can bring forth information and understand the entire issues. Let me see, I think I have it on the other slide that I can quickly share. Okay. Okay. Okay, the 5 W's. Who is involved in the problem or in the conflict? What is the issue? Where did it happen? When did it happen? And why did it happen? This is not part of the slide I'll be forwarding, but I just think this is going to be very important when it comes to managing conflict situations. So using this will help guide you to exactly where you want to go to be able to solve the problem as a leader or help solve the problem as a leader. Who is involved? Who are the stakeholders? The key people, those interested that you can't see, those you can see. Then you have what is the issue? What really is the case? And then where did it happen? Location, right? When did it happen? Time, day, year, date, And then why did it happen? This is the remote cause. That's how you find the remote cause. Okay, I'll go back to my main screen. Okay. All right. Now, we must remember this, that in communication, even though I know Benga is going to do a lot of that, in communication, the percentage of what impacts, what makes a difference when you relate with others as a leader, you must remember that words, people are impacted by only 7% of your word. Prepare an entire book as your speech and come and be saying. You start saying and you lose them at some point. Maybe they just hear your first line, which is probably the introduction, and that's it. Somebody is just there to hear what is your opinion. Just that straight, at the point, hit the nail on the head. That's once you hit that nail, you lose that person from that point. So the words that you say, the words that you speak, it is only 7% that make an impact on the people. Secondly, your tone. You bring people's attention. You hear when you see me express something like that, you know that something is wrong. No, there's a crisis here, and you would want to find out. So your tone, 38% of conversation, people are impacted by your tone. by up to 38%. Then the non-verbal, what do you do with your hands? You're telling them, run, 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 and you're standing. Somebody does not even hear the run. They will just stand the way you're standing. And then you're saying, run, 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 you're standing. They're standing too. They're not hearing you, they're only seeing you. So a large percentage of, what do they call it? Impact is made by non-verbal, the gestures that you make. You're saying, and you're saying, I really like you, you're a nice person, you know? That person is not even hearing what you're saying. The words will not make a difference as much as this one does. Have you seen people on the road trying to move and then somebody makes a bad move and they try to get to that person and say something? The person is not even here. But the one that does like this, that's the one that makes the next person pull over and then they begin to take on a fight. So the non-verbal, the one you do not use words and your tone, your voice is not heard, 55% impact on the other party. So if you're trying to resolve a conflict, you must show, I said, not say, show that you are an objective person, that you're here to listen attentively, not, okay, this is my phone in my hand, right? Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. Yes, I heard you say that earlier. That person would think, hello? Hello?
I'm up.
Did you lose me?
No, I'm actually trying to tell you about time.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm almost rounding up. So don't worry. Thank you. So the person is looking at what you're doing. And in my mind, I'm saying it. This person is not even serious. That's how I'll say it. This person is not even serious, because you will not get to understand, or you will not get to give an impact that is worthwhile at the end of the day. Now, there's a scenario I would like you to listen to, and then I'll ask you questions and hear how you would respond. We're going to do just a short exercise, and then I'll let you go. So just pay attention. It's my voice recording. I did it as slow as possible. I would love to hear your responses to this. If it's not going to be too noisy, I love verbal responses.
Rachel, we can hear.
You can't?
Yeah. People are not hearing this. Maybe you didn't share your sound.
Okay, the sound is also supposed to be shared.
If you do it that way, it goes faster. So that share place.
Okay, let me quickly. Oh, yeah, share sound. I see. Thank you, Benga. She has very widget. Okay. The scenario. Can you hear now?
Yes.
You are
yes.
a manager of a widget company. Your division in the company is made up of the scenario. The scenario. You are a manager of a widget company. Your division in the company is made up of 50 people. You do sales, marketing, and new product development. It has generally been a tight-knit, friendly, and high-performance place to work. You recently hired a new employee. She or he has been hitting all their performance goals. They come in to work always on time or slightly early. You have noticed that they are often on their own. Today, you were in the break room. Normally, there are several people in the room, often having a collegial discussion. Today, there is only one person, your new employee. As you pass close to her or him, you notice that he or she has very strong body odor. All right, Shaun, can we allow responses, verbal responses? I'll prefer. Okay, I think I saw a few names that I can call. Bashir Mustafa. Bashir.
Hello, ma.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was calling Bashir, but I think he disappeared. Okay, he's actually off and on.
Okay, Bashir is muted.
Okay, I wanted him to respond.
Yes, I'm looking for his name. I'm only seeing Abdul Malik Issa's hand.
Okay, Abdul Malik Issa, to
Yes.
allow him to talk then.
Okay, so Issa, you can talk now. Issa, unmute yourself.
Issa.
Issa is not available. He can't unmute himself to talk.
Okay. Emmanuel Daniel.
Okay, I can't see his hand up.
Yes, I wanted him to just respond to a question.
Okay. Emmanuel, can you unmute yourself now? Yes, over to you, Emmanuel.
Emmanuel.
He's unmuted, but we
he's
can't
not
hear.
Responding.
Emmanuel
Biamin Umar.
Pardon?
Biamin Umar. All right. If anybody is attentive and can unmute themselves, I want to hear how you feel about the scenario that I just narrated.
Okay. Uma, can you speak now?
Any other person that is listening to us, I just want to hear your feeling about the scenario that we just heard. We just listened to.
Okay, Lisa, your network is a problem I have, Lisa. I'm sorry. Yes, okay. I can see Binyamino Umar. Yes, unmute yourself, Binyamino. Unmute yourself and talk. Don't unmute yourself, it will not automatically unmute. Okay, I think they are finding difficult to.
So nobody is available to talk?
Yes, their network is a.
Hello.
Hi, who is there?
Baba Isa, I told you the network is a challenge. Okay, Jamila Bello, can you unmute yourself now and speak?
So Richie,
Okay.
I was thinking like, can we upload the scenario on the platform and keep this question for them to interact with it? But it looks like something that is good. So drop the scenario on the platform, they listen to it, and there's a question on your
then they
next page.
discuss.
They can discuss it. Yeah, it's a very good tool for.
Since our time is even gone, so I would we'll drop it and then I would hear response. We'll see responses from that. I think that would be. Thank you, Benga, for that suggestion.
Okay, it's okay, ma. Thank you so much, ma.